Welcome back to Joe Stunner Boxing for a late night video. How you doing? If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like. Spread the word about Joe Stunner Boxing, if you don't mind. All support is always appreciated, trying to build up this channel. Not been going long, but thank you if you've subscribed already, and if you can spread the word, I would appreciate it. We'd all appreciate it. I wanted to make a video about the importance of experience amongst young fighters who are obviously inexperienced. But we hear a lot about experience. Why is it important? Well, I watched a fight on the MTK show earlier tonight between, I've got to get this guy's name right, Tursynbay Kulakhmet of Kazakhstan and Juan Abreu. Now, I hadn't heard of Mr. Kulahmet, so I looked him up. I did what we all do. I went to BoxRec. And Abreu, I knew the name, and I was thinking, where have I heard that before? So I looked him up on BoxRec as well. And in the case of Abreu, Juan Abreu, I had heard of him because in 2020 he fought Boots Ennis. And we all know about Boots Ennis, how good he is now. He's on the cusp of fighting the absolute best. And Abreu's record going in was 23 wins, 6 defeats and 1 draw. And then I looked at Kulahmet's record, the Kazakhstan fella, and he had 4 fights, 4 professional fights. 3 wins inside the distance, but only 4 fights. Now, I thought, why are they putting him in with a guy who's had 30 fights? A guy who's faced Ennis in his last fight. Ennis stopped Abreu. That's the only stoppage defeat on Abreu's record. And some other names that Abreu's got on his record are Kavaliauskas, who hits hard. Kavaliauskas handed David Avanesyan his only stoppage defeat. He hits hard. Abreu went the distance with him, 10 rounds. And there were another couple of names on there that were half decent. I know he had a win over Jesus Soto Caras, who had seen better days, but nevertheless, Abreu stopped him. So Abreu, who, by the way, I looked at his age, he was 34, is 34. I'm thinking, this guy, all right, he lost his last fight to Ennis, but is he really the type of opponent you should be putting in with a 4-fight professional novice? Now, Kulahmet, I thought, maybe he's old. Maybe they're fast-tracking him. Maybe he's one of these Kazakhs that has had, 300 amateur fights and didn't turn pro till he was 30 or 32 or whatever. He's 27. So he's not ancient. And they're putting him in with a guy who's, a real, like a fringe contender, gatekeeper, whatever description you want to use, but a guy who can really fight, a guy who's battle-hardened. But anyway, in they went. The fight starts. Kulahmet has all the ambition and all the ferocity of a guy who thinks he can't be beaten. Very, very physically strong. Seemed to hit hard. Floored Abreu in the second round. Abreu got up, weathered the storm, used that experience. And actually, towards the end of that second round, he kind of shook Kulahmet a little bit. Kulahmet carries on, he's rampaging, he's not without, some technique, but it's all pressure fighting, it's all front foot stuff, it's all aggression and power and strength. And Abreu is shaken numerous times until the 6th round, when he tags Kulahmet. And Kulahmet, he looked pretty hurt, not hurt, but the punches have got his attention, and he looked for the first time like, hang on a minute, this guy's punching back. What's going on here? In the 7th round, bang. Abreu lands, I can't even remember which punch it was. I think it was was it a right cross? Don't quote me on that, I might be wrong. But suddenly, Kulahmet is on the floor. He gets up too quickly because he hasn't got the experience to realise, okay, I'll keep calm, I'll take an 8 count. Too quickly, Abreu's all over him, and bang, it's all over. Knocks him down for the second time, flat on his face, and Kulahmet, he's not unconscious, but he's damn near close to it. Now, the striking difference between that second round, where Abreu was floored and shaken and hurt, but stayed calm, stayed composed, got up, weathered the storm, took other punches that genuinely hurt him, but hung in there, fiddled his way through the awkward moments, and worked his way closer, and eventually got to the point where he was doing what he wanted to do, was making Kulahmet think about what he was doing rather than, or he was making Kulahmet worry about what Abreu was doing, instead of it all being front foot aggression. You compare that to when Kulahmet got knocked down and God didn't know what the hell to do. Well, I can't think of a better recent example of why experience matters. Kulahmet was up too quickly, didn't know what to do, didn't know how to hang on, didn't know whether to back off, go forward. Experience, it matters, it's important. And I think it's that fight. I watched it on YouTube, the whole MTK card was on YouTube. Go and watch it, because I think it's a perfect example of why experience in boxing matters. And I don't understand this constant need for fighters with only half a dozen fights, or in the case of Kulahmet, 4 fights, why they should take a quantum leap up. Even in the case of Boots Ennis, who is clearly a very rare talent, and he's almost at the top. I don't see any reason, he's 24, I don't see any reason to put him in with Crawford or Spence just yet. I'd like to see him in there with say Keith Thurman, maybe Danny Garcia, those guys who are B+ fighters rather than A+ fighters. Because Boots is only 24, 28 fights, 26 KOs, no defeats, no draws. Yeah, special talent. But what's the rush? You're 24. Experience counts at every level, whether you're beginning your journey or whether you're getting towards world level. And as far as the UK fighter is concerned, I will never be convinced that there's a better way of bringing along a British talent than to go area level, national level. So that would be, say, English title, for example, or Welsh title, whatever it is. British title, Commonwealth, European, and then world. It's the best way to do it. It's proven over decades that that's the best way to do it, to bring along a talent. Okay, there are exceptions. Olympic gold medal winners who want to fast track. Maybe someone's supremely talented and you want to fast track them. But those are rare cases. When you're talking about young prospects, I would bring them through the traditional route. Okay. What are your thoughts? Did you see the fight I talked about? What do you think about Ennis? Do you think he should jump straight in with Spence or Crawford? Do you think he's ready yet? Or maybe needs one more fight? I don't know. He could go in with Spence or Crawford and make a splash. He'd be competitive. But again, a little bit more experience against a Thurman or a Garcia or someone of that level wouldn't hurt, would it? So let me know what you think and about the importance of experience in boxing, what it really means, how important it is. I've always felt it's extremely important. Let me know what you think in the comments. Yeah, I'm going to get my hood on. The teddy bear look is very underrated. But you have a nice evening. I'll speak to you soon. As always, take